All right, we now welcome onto the program a linebacker for the Detroit Lions, Darnell Sankey. How you doing, Darnell?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Glad to have you on the show.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely. So before we get started, I guess it started in the first question. How I found you was Shane Smith, fullback for the Giants. He's a friend of ours. I saw that you guys work out in the offseason together. I know you're both from the San Jose area. How did you guys get to know each other, though?
Well, I actually knew him in high school. I mean, briefly. I think we only met about one time in high school, and we just knew each other because we were both prospects, in the San Jose area, and there's not the most prospects coming out of our area, And then when we both got back in town, my sister had worked with this CrossFit gym. It's called CrossFit Extreme Athletics with a man named Neil Maddox. And word had got around that, I was working out with him, and Shane found out. And I guess Shane used to be one of his players in high school that he used to coach. And then we just started hitting it every day in the off season, and all day, every day. We just became workout partners for about 4 months. So,
definitely, yeah, man. Shane's a good guy. He's a friend of ours. He's actually helped us out a lot. So when I saw that you guys are friends, I definitely wanted to get a quick interview with you.
Okay, yeah.
So you're on the Lions now, and they brought in Matt Patricia, the new coach from New England.
Right.
New England's known to kind of have a different way of going about things, and some players, a lot of players are for it, and a few players have came out and spoke up against it. But what is something different that Matt may have implemented that you haven't seen with some of the other teams?
I would say one of the main things is probably just a little bit more discipline. He's very to the rule man, and he has run the stuff the way he runs it, and he's used to it a certain way, and he expects the most out of us players. He expects us to conduct ourselves like professional athletes, and he expects us to just kind of hold that role of we're pros. To walk like a pro, act like a pro, talk like a pro. All aspects of the game, and I would say that's probably one of the main things that he's brought to this program, as far as I've seen since I've been here. It's just, it's a respect thing, just like I said, it's definitely more of a professional mindset. And I don't want to say more than anywhere I've been, but I would say it's more emphasized, definitely.
Okay, definitely. So I want to touch a little bit on college. You went to Sacramento State. You're from the Bay Area. Before I ask about that, are you a Kings fan by chance?
No, I'm actually a Spurs fan.
Okay, I'm a believer that there's no such thing as a Kings fan. I have friends from that area, and everybody either seems to be a Lakers or a Warriors fan.
Man. I mean, shoot, everyone who I went to Sacramento State with, all the locals there from like Elk Grove, everywhere up north are all Kings fans, man. They're kind of diehard out there. But everyone's kind of on the Warrior train now, so.
Yeah. They'll be Lakers fans again in a few years once Kevin Durant leaves or something.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that.
But so like I said, you went to Sacramento State. What was your journey there in the recruiting process? Was there other schools that you were talking about going to, or was this kind of more of a hometown bias kind of thing?
Honestly, I was kind of one of the last players picked up there because I started football early. I started football my junior year of high school. So I was always a basketball player, through my whole life. My dad played at San Jose State. I have a lot of family that play basketball, and then I kind of switched over junior year to football. And, the linebacker coach kind of approached me in one of their weightlifting sessions, and I was just starting to get interested. He's like, you should come out and play football. And I was like, sure, why not? It's something different. So I came out, and I just kind of stuck with it. And, I had a lot of interest from mostly Pac-12, Mountain West, that kind of area, more West Coast teams. And none of them ended up offering me. And I started training with a local junior college called Deanza. And then right before the season started, the Sacramento State called me and offered me a full-ride scholarship, literally like 2 weeks before camp started. So I signed, and I drove up there the next day, signed, and then I was a true freshman. I was playing Sam linebacker my first 2 years. Our middle linebacker went to the NFL, and then I took over his position as Mike. And
Okay, we hear those kind of stories all the time. I love hearing that. Like Kamoko Toure, he was a second round pick from the Colts. He didn't start playing football till late, and Shane, another guy where he didn't have an offer until like you last second San Jose State called him up. But what? So you said you didn't start till late, but was there a guy growing up that you kind of watched, and maybe your the end of high school?
A professional?
Yeah.
Well, Patrick Willis used to train at my gym. He used to play basketball a lot, 24 hours. So I would always talk to him when he was there. And honestly, he's kind of a guy I looked up to, he's all-pro linebacker. We had some nice conversations, I'm not sure if he even remembers me, but I remember him, so I would say he's probably the number one linebacker who I used to always watch and kind of try to.
Yeah, that's not a bad one to pick, man.
Gameplay.
I said that's not a bad one to pick, man. He's one of the fastest guys I've ever seen at the middle linebacker position.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he was, a 4.5, 4.4, something like that, yeah. So,
yeah, it was ridiculous.
I would say he's one of the guys I looked up to, especially at the linebacker position, just, a sideline-to-sideline tackler,
Yeah. So speaking of the linebacker position, there's a lot of controversy about this new helmet rule, and everybody's saying they're going to overcall it in preseason, but I think it's the first time where fans are kind of worried. Have the coaches talked to you about how to go at it in the games with this new rule or anything like that? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that?
I say as players, it's more about safety. It's just a safety thing. No one really I don't think anybody intentionally lowers their head, but sometimes it happens. And, I think the NFL's doing a great job of just trying to, make the game a little bit safer. A little bit safer for us players. And, I've never got called for it. I know people who have, and, I can't really say too much on it, honestly, because it's part of the game. We have to adjust, and coaches don't teach to really lower your head when you hit. It's more try to hit them with your shoulder, wrap up, and keep your feet moving. But as for the rule, I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's going to change. I don't know. It's not really for me to say. But I just keep playing.
Right. Yeah. So you've bounced around from team to team. I think something that people don't understand is everybody looks at their fantasy football teams and they don't realize there's a guy behind the helmet. And so you've been around on a few teams, going to practice squads and whatnot. And I'm not going to ask you what's that like, but in a stressful situation, what are those phone calls like to your parents? Like, hey, I'm not here anymore, but I'm probably going to go here. Is it kind of discouraging at times, or is it your parents?
You're talking about when I get released.
Yeah.
I'd say the first few times it's discouraging in some ways, because you're young, you don't really know too much about how the league really is. I didn't really know a lot of people in NFL in general. I didn't go to a big name college, a big, SEC school, so I didn't really have a lot of guys that could be like, hey, hey, how is this? But so I would say the first couple times it's discouraging, but I learned how it is, and I learned how sometimes it's just a numbers thing, and sometimes you're the last on the roster, and they need a different position, and it's nothing personal. It's just business. So I understand that completely. And as I started getting older, and my second year, and not going on my third year, if I get released, I'll just get back to the grind, train, and get ready for my next opportunity. Because it's going to come. So.
Definitely. We've been doing this show for about half a year now, and made, we interview guys. Some, we never talk to again, and some we've made friends with. And it's definitely weird. It changes, the way I look at it. Whereas, I played college ball, but, I've never been on that, fringe.
Where'd you play college ball at?
St. Olaf in Minnesota, a smaller school.
Okay, so D1 AA,
D2. D2. But it really changes the way you look at it as a fan. Where it's like I have some friends that are undrafted free agents. Where if somebody says something bad about them or something like that, you kind of take it personal. But that being said, what's maybe the most annoying thing you might get asked by either the media or a fan?
Just about. Are you talking about specifically about being a free agent, or just in general?
Say it again.
Are you talking about specifically like being an undrafted free agent? Or
No, just in general, you know,
like with the NFL?
like, you know, maybe a fan like saying something to you on Twitter or just a regular question in the media after practice or something.
I can't really say I'm never really annoyed. I would just say that a lot of people don't really understand how the NFL is. You know, I mean, if you're not in it, it's kind of hard to explain to you what it's really like.
Right.
You know, or if you're not educated, I'm not going to say you're not educated, but you don't really know as much as you might think you know. You know, so, I mean, the media has a job, you know, fans, you know, they just want to know. I'm sure none of them really just come at you like, you know, to try to be annoying. You know, I just think a lot of fans just don't really understand how it is. You know, like, you know, they assume you get released, they assume you did something. But sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it's just, you know, we need a different position. You know, like I said, it's a business. You know, we love the game, we love to play the game, but when it comes down to it, it's definitely a business, and we understand that going into it. So that's kind of the risk that we take.
Definitely. So I'm going to finish it off with two final questions. Like we said before,
No problem.
You're from Sacramento State. Who do you think is the most famous alum from there? I did a little Google search on it. Who do you think is the most famous?
From Sac State in general,
Yeah.
I would say Ryan Coogler.
Okay, I saw Tom Hanks on there, but if you said
Tom Hanks, yes, but Ryan Coogler is the most up and coming because he's like you know, I think he made Creed, the Free Throw Station, like he's doing a lot of good things. So, you know, he's kind of getting there, you know. But Tom Hanks as well, yes, I mean, definitely. Well, if we're talking about right now in today's society, I would say probably Ryan Coogler.
Okay. I saw a couple other people, Creed from The Office, a couple other guys. And then final question, we ask this to all our guests, probably the most annoying question in all of sports. MJ or LeBron?
Oh man, MJ and LeBron, shoot. I mean, my dad's been a MJ fan, my grandparents been an MJ fan, so, you know, I mean, I like them both though. I like them both, but I mean, I'm gonna have to say one or the other. I'll probably have to go with MJ.
Okay.
MJ, just because, you know, he's always been kind of someone I looked up to, his work ethic. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't have the same, you know, LeBron's the greatest player to walk the earth right now, but I think MJ was just something that is going to take if LeBron keeps going for 2-3 more years, then sure. But, I mean, I'm not a basketball expert, so.
Yeah,
I'm just a fan of basketball.
I don't think any of us are. We actually made a vow when we started the show to never debate it, but we like to ask our guests as a joke. But the problem with that is you get a few bad nuggets like Rob Martin from the Giants. He said Kobe and a couple other guys. And I think we need a whole separate place for people that think Kobe's the best.
And Kobe's definitely one of the best. So, you know, he's definitely up there. You know, I think everyone's good in their own way.
Okay.
Everyone has a different aspect of their game, you know, that you could arguably say is better than one or the other.
Okay. So we appreciate you coming on. Everybody watch out. This will be released after the game tomorrow, but good luck against Tampa, and we'll be looking out for you.
Yes,
we'll keep in touch. Thanks for coming on, Darnell.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Have a good night. God bless.
All right, have a good one.